We decided to use an example of 3 different companies. They're different in size and in challenges they have. Company A is looking for an alternative to EDI for maintaining their customer schedules. It's relatively small in size and cannot justify cost of implementing and running EDI to maintain customer schedules in QAD. Company B has their schedules received and updated, has their schedules receiving and updating process taken care of. It's all implemented using EDI. Process is well established and reliable, but they're still left with the need to review and adjust customer schedules manually. For example, active customer schedule releases in QAD can be closed or deactivated either manually or by receiving new release for the same item and order. And customers often send us information only about items they need and leave discontinued items behind. It becomes the responsibility of the receiving side to detect those discontinued items and deactivate open releases. This company B might also have a portion of their schedules coming from non-EDI customers, so they need to be entered manually. And a third company is company C. This one is looking for an efficient way to use and analyze data from customer schedules they have collected in QAD. Did customer changes shipping requirements? Are we ready from production capacity and inventory availability perspective to meet those changes? Are there any red flags? What actions needs to be taken? I will show you how 32Soft customer schedule data loader can help all 3 of these companies to efficiently deal with challenges they have. With this tool, you can upload new customer schedules into QAD, modify them, and review past schedules and analyze the trends. In the case of our first company, we will be creating a new schedule. I have prepared, you can type in new schedule manually, import it if that's a customized functionality based on this. If your schedule comes in the same format every time, we can program that design and you can be able to bring that schedule by clicking on import button. Or if you can just do a copy paste from another Excel spreadsheet. I just prepared this sample to shorten the time. Excel spreadsheet. So this is the new schedule that I want to create. I want to generate new release ID, and this is my start date, my items, and this is the quantities. I use the past date just to be able to show you examples for the company B later. These are my items, these are my quantities. So now I just need to click on upload. So I entered my data, I click on upload. The tool will validate information I provided and will generate the next release ID. Now I can download the latest release ID from QAD in my Excel spreadsheet, and this is what I have. So this is the list of all active releases or my current shipping schedule for this customer, and starting from the date I specified. So all those quantities are active. I know what items I need to ship and at what dates. So this is solution for company A. It's simple, very low cost, very efficient, very quick way to bring customer schedules into QAD if you don't have EDI. Let's now switch to company B. They do receive customer schedules via EDI, but sometimes when item gets discontinued, customer does not send the new release with 0 requirement. I will download all active customer schedules, all active releases that I have for this customer. And these are my data. And I can see from my release IDs that I didn't receive last time. So this is my latest release ID, and I didn't receive last time any shipment request for this item. So I can assume that this item might have been discontinued. This very often happens in automotive when you use revision numbers as part of item numbers. So every time revision number changes, item number changes, and you need to make sure you clean the old revisions from your system. So they won't affect your MRP, they won't consume your components, and so on. So here I see there is one item that looks like it has been discontinued. So my options here, I can just assign the end date to this release. So I'll put, and it will close, or I can also zero out the quantities I received. So let's say assume, since it's February, so let's assume that they didn't send anything for March, so I need to put 0, so it won't affect my current active release. I will upload. So I updated, but because I didn't assign end date, my release will remain active. It's still fine because I don't have anything after the current date. It's all demands are zeros. But if you do need to expire this release for discontinued items, you have all this information in front of you. You can assign an effective date for this release. Now, if you will re-download data from QAD, you will see that this valid only up to February 14. So that's the company B case. You can see how quickly you can identify those discontinued items. In my case, I just showed you one line update. In your case, if it's multiple lines, then you can upload multiple lines at the same time and get rid of your obsolete revision demands. Company C challenge, as I mentioned, is a need to look at both active and historical customer schedule releases. For this, we just need to change selection criteria in our loader, switch from active only to no, and download. And I'll get everything that has been collected in QAD starting from September 1st. And you can see here, so this is one line sales order. There are all active and all historical releases there. Just for the demo purposes, to minimize the number of lines shown here, I will download everything for, you can specify either item or you can specify the line in the sales order. You can download, and that's the smaller data sample, easy to analyze. And from here, you can see how your demand changed. So this is, again, the data, this is just data we created for testing, for demos. They are not make sense when it comes to efficient effective date start, effective date end, but just pay attention to the release ID. So this is how we were receiving them the first, and then, so this is the oldest and this is the newest, and you can see how the demand that customer was sending us was changing. And this is the generic version, but in custom versions, we might even highlight those demands. For example, if demands for the same item change more than, let's say, 10%, highlight the line in red or in orange. So it will be a visual indicator for you that, yes, there is a change here. Just pay attention to it. It might be still fine, or it might trigger some other actions you might need to check with production and with purchasing that they are ready to meet the change in the demand. So if it's an increase, do we have enough capacity? Or if we get increase in the future, maybe we can start making it ahead of time, not to hit the capacity constraint. Or purchasing might need to make some actions to bring components in place. It will all get eventually be reflected in the MRP if you run MRP, but here it's more visible and more noticeable. So you know where the red flag might be, and then it will help you to analyze MRP results.